No, ain't no way you gonna tell me that Wayne and Drake didn't split up. You ain't gonna tell me that Wayne and Drake didn't fell out. There's no way. This is my favorite hip hop duo. There's no way that you can show me proof that those two are not brothers. Oh. What's good, y'all? This is Cypher, man. Y'all know what y'all watching, man. Y'all voted for this right here. Y'all voted for, you see that poll? That's the poll I put up, and y'all voted for me to do this video right here, right now, today. So that's what we got, all right? I ain't gonna lie. I'm low-key glad that y'all chose that video because I really wanted to talk about it because nobody talks about it. It's out there in the open. There ain't nobody saying no words, but guess what? We're gonna talk about it today. And this is why Wayne and Drake are not that cool. What happened? Let's get into it. What I want to do is give y'all a timeline, right? And I'm going to go through this timeline very fast because I want to give y'all a solid number. Let's say about 15 years. So 15 years will rewind us all the way back to 2009. Let me give y'all a brief summary of every year between Wayne and Drake. And we're going to get to the root and bottom of why they ain't just that cool. So we're going to go through this pretty quick. So please, guys, bear with me. I'm going to be flying through this. You see the video, you see the time, it's at 20-some minutes, right? We got to get it in. Right, this is 15 years. So I don't want to be on the topic for more than a minute, really, over every year. That's what we're going to talk about. I've already said too much. I've already talked about it. Let's get into it. 2009 gives us the year that Drake really was Drake. He stepped out into the music scene. He already did, but now he's official. He's an actual artist. He's with Drake. He's with Wayne. He's with Young Money. He's their quarterback. Wayne's the coach. Nicki's the running back. You know how it goes. Young Money's in full effect and everything's peachy. He's a strong number two to Wayne's number one because number one, Wayne is number one. He's 2009 Wayne. He's No Ceilings mixtape Wayne. He's just came off of Carter 3 the year before Wayne, his most successful album to date. So yeah, Wayne's number one in the world.
We were introduced through another gentleman from Houston. His name is Jazz Prince. He found me on MySpace and loved my music on MySpace. He was like, man, I know Lil Wayne, and I'm gonna play him your music one day. And I was just like, yeah, right. So yeah, we would talk, and he called me one day, and I was in the barbershop getting my hair cut, and he was like, brrr, and the phone rang, and I picked it up, and it was like, yo. And I was like, hello? I was like, yo, what's up? I was like, this doesn't sound like my friend. And he's like, yo, what's up, it's Weezy. He was like, I'm starting this thing called Young Money, and I'd really love for you to be a part of it. So I wanna fly you out to Houston and meet you. Greatest advice Wayne has ever given me, which I love him so much for saying this to me, is, you know, he's always just like, man, please be yourself. Please don't ever try and be me or anybody else. Don't ever go get tattoos. From the day Wayne met me to now, I haven't changed anything about myself.
I don't know how fake feels, so I gotta keep it real. All this love, every girl in the world, every model, every season, every every college girl, but in every desperate housewife that resemble.
So now we skip to 2010, and this is Drake becoming a made man. Drake has dropped his first full-fledged studio album, and that being Thank Me Later. This is the album that everybody's been waiting for. We had single after single after single. We know who's on it. We know who's a part of it. We got Wayne, Nicki, everybody. This is Drake's coming out party, pause, and he actually came out strong. Yeah, that's a good save. He came out strong, right? So Drake's on top of the world. He has Wayne on the album. Wayne's kind of shifting it to Drake because Wayne's doing his rock thing. Whether it's successful or not is up for debate, but it did go gold. Not too many people going gold, so I say that's a win. So Drake is starting to kind of tee off, right? 2010. Now we go to 2011. So now Drake has dropped his, what a lot of people would consider his best album of the year. He's kind of fighting for that with Nothing Was the Same, but that's a different video for a different time. So that's where we at. We got Drake with Take Care, which also features Wayne like twice. And we have Wayne with Carter 4, which features Drake. Maybe twice. I'm not sure, but definitely features Drake. So there's still Young Money. They're still together. They're still great. So everything is smooth. Right, everything is smooth. They're both doing their thing. Wayne has the Carter 4. He revitalized himself, got back good with the people with 6'7". Everything's straight. And Drake, like I said, classic album. Marvin's Room really took off. Pretty much put him in that different type of area. Breaking boundaries, really, which made a lot of people make Marvin's Room type music. So 2011 is looking pretty fire. 2012 is when we get our departure, right? So you may be wondering what I mean by that. So Wayne, at this point, either is in jail or he's on the back burner a little bit, okay? Drake is also on the back burner, but not really. He's more so in the feature lane right now. And this is where we get our star 2 Chainz, his time. Now remember, not part of Young Money, but he's essential in this because he's a fan of, no, I'll say this, he's an old friend of Wayne, which I didn't know that so much later, but he's an old friend of Wayne from back in the day. I know he was on Duffel Bag Boy, but apparently that's around the time when they really met and was cool. So he's well established with Wayne, and now he's starting to get with Drake. He's been with Drake on these songs. He had Drake on the hook of No Lie. So Drake is starting to get on these hooks, these different songs and these different features. So Drake's kind of doing his own thing away from Wayne for a little bit. And we have the situation with the female. And yeah, so excuse me if my timeline's a little off, but you know Drake did something with old girl, Wayne's girl, between 2011 and 2012. So there's already a big dip in that relationship. Whether it's forgiven or not, that's still a sting. And that sting won't be forgotten for a very long time, because it won't be forgotten at all.
Man, I'm sorry. You know, like, did he break it to you lightly, or you just like went straight in with it?
Man, I swear, where's the camera? And please, anybody that know me real well, when you see this and whatever, please tweet and vouch for me. I have a very, very, very terrible memory, and I swear to God, I don't know what y'all talking about. I just did like 3-4 interviews, and I just kept it moving. Like, yeah, Drake, yeah.
So for clarification, that did not,
what?
it may not have happened.
Whatever it was, it happened. I just got a badass memory.
So you don't know who the girl was.
What are we talking about? That first of all.
So apparently, in the book, there's that part in the book where you say that he came in and told you that he had smashed one of your girls.
I wasn't worried about that. I was just, that's just how life goes when you locked up. Yeah, I know.
But she's done. You moved on. Life is good. Life is good. Will you rap about that? Do you think it'll end up on a song? Maybe you two might,
No. She still be texting me and stuff, They stop texting me too, for real.
Damn.
Because it still hurt.
Oh, shit.
No. But now I remember though, yeah, he rapped. I don't know who he rapped. When you in jail though, even your side is your main.
Now we get to 2013. Wayne has dropped I Am Not Human Being 2, which was debatably a decent album. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people do. It's definitely split. More so as an album put together because Wayne had to get something off before he went to jail or did his time, whatever. It was like a playlist as opposed to an album. But I still dug it. While Drake would arguably drop his best album, comparable to Take Care, Nothing Was the Same, which didn't feature Wayne. Allegedly because of the jail thing, but no excuse. It didn't feature Wayne. But it featured other people. We got introduced to Jhené Aiko. We got introduced to Magic Jordan. And of course, on the previous year, we got introduced to The Weeknd, but I'm not going to talk about that. Basically, Drake had his arguably best album of his career. Nothing Was the Same. Wayne wasn't on it, enjoying that huge success. And now it's starting to look like they're going on different paths. And music is starting to change with Drake. We noticeably seen Wayne not on there, and we hear Drake with these whispers of maybe Wayne shouldn't be on here. I'm just trying not to be too attached to Wayne because I don't want people to know that I can do it by myself. Blah, blah, blah. I get it, but we're going to see how that kind of continues later. As far as Wayne, I'm Not Human Being 2. It's in the air. That's a heads or tails situation for you. I dug it, but only half. Some people thought the whole thing was a slap. Some people thought it was trash, but you can see the divide there. But Drake was on that album. Wayne wasn't. Now we get to 2014. So now we're starting to assume things and think things, but then Wayne and Drake covered up with a nice joint tour. We get the Drake versus Lil Wayne tour, which is arguably the best tour I've ever got a chance to be a part of. When I say be a part of, I wasn't there, but I got to watch different tapings in different cities because they had a Drake versus Wayne Tekken style tour. They battled each other. There was song versus song, verse versus verse, hook versus hook. So everything would look good. Everybody's like, oh, okay, so they are good. All right, bet. What they do, they had a song together. Believe me, blew up. Great song, great back and forth. It was great. So we thought, okay, so this is how they starting off. I don't know whose album it's gonna be on, but it's gonna be on somebody's album. It's a fire song. It wasn't on nobody's album. It was just part of the tour. So we got that. It was good. It was a really good tour, but that was it. There wasn't nothing to come from it. Neither dropped an album that year. Well, now we're in 2015. Okay. Now, prior, I didn't mention this in 2014, but this is when the case against Birdman Universal really started to heat up, because we were supposed to get Carter 5? Yeah, supposed to get Carter 5, right? But it was held hostage by the label. So we didn't get Carter 5. So we're just waiting and waiting and waiting. And now we're in 2015, and Drake decides to drop a mixtape. One of the hardest mixtapes you'll hear, out of nowhere. Broke the internet. It was a thing. Look, Beyonce and Wayne and Drake both did that year. They just broke the internet. When they just dropped something with no release date. And Drake enjoyed success, and he did have Wayne on that tape. So he's starting to build that rapport back with fans. Like, okay, Drake and Wayne still good. So okay, we good. Wayne, however, would end up dropping the Free Weezy album on Tidal because he couldn't get rights to Carter 5. So he had to put out something through Jay-Z's streaming service. It was a weird situation. I don't think we got any more releases from Wayne on that. That was his only one. Wasn't that good. I'm sorry. Wayne's my favorite rapper, but in being my favorite rapper, I have to be honest. It wasn't that good. I only liked Glory and maybe London Roads. Out of all those songs, that's it. While Drake dropped, like I said, one of the best mixtapes you'll ever hear, with so many dope songs, so many songs I can go back to right now and just blast. So Drake's on the higher scale right now. So you're still seeing a difference. You know what I'm saying? But we're not completely severed, so we're keeping it steady. 2016. Drake has his biggest hit yet, Hotline Bling, on Views, which is one of his most disliked albums yet. Full of hits and full of Rasta, house party music, and other random things that you just couldn't really get into. But it was his senior album, so it was a big thing. And again, I don't believe Wayne was on there. If he was, it was a very partial thing, but I don't remember Wayne being on there. It should have stood out. And also, let me throw this in there too. This is a key part on my behalf. My bad. Let's go back real quick. We'll come back to 2016. Let's go back real quick. 2015. After dropping that tape from Drake, guess who he decided to do a joint album with? Not Wayne, Future. He dropped a joint album with Future. And yes, the album was fire. It was a nice 9-10 tracks of heat. I get it. I dig it. But it wasn't with Wayne. And that's something that people would be wanting. We expected that. So why didn't we get it? Well, I don't know. I don't know if it was explained. I don't think it was explained. Wayne was out. There was no issue. So why didn't he join with Wayne? He joined with Future. So yeah, that would lead to 2016. And make sure I get my timeline right. I believe this is accurate. 2016, Drake dropped his Views, whatever. It did okay. A lot of people judged it for not being good. While Wayne went on to do a joint album with 2 Chainz, College Grove, which makes a College Park from 2 Chainz and Holly Grove from Wayne, College Grove, right? I personally didn't really care for it that much, but I know it was decent enough to, I respect them both enough separately. So I was like, okay, so Drake and Future dropped this year, and Wayne and 2 Chainz dropped the next year. Okay, maybe it's an experiment. Maybe they'll come back together. Didn't happen. So now we're in 2017. Drake is kind of doing something else. He dropped More Life, which was a playlist. It wasn't a mixtape, it wasn't an album, it was a playlist, right? And Wayne would continue to kind of float. Now I know I'm kind of going everywhere with these things because a lot of things happened every year, but so I have to continually go back to the year prior. But these milestones aren't that important. Like Wayne dropped a mixtape, which he did in 2015. He dropped Sorry for the Wait 2, which was actually good. It took me a while. It took a minute to grow on me, but it was actually good. And in 2016, he dropped No Ceilings 2 mixtape, which was very bad. And 2017, I don't think he really did much of anything. So that was the year before we actually got to see the renaissance of Lil Wayne. So 2017, Drake and Wayne. Like I said, Drake had his playlist, but besides that, nothing was really popping. I don't think Wayne was on there either. So you seeing the divide. You seeing Drake is getting himself mixed in with the Migos and Travis Scott and different people like that, but no Wayne. So it's really, really weird. Also, I don't think Drake was on Wayne's mixtapes either, so that was probably retaliation. 2018, Drake gets exposed by Pusha T during the time when he tried to put out an album that was not that well received, which would be Scorpion. It just seemed kind of random, seemed put together, and seemed like a playlist of songs he had left in the hard drive they had to get out. He had a rap side and the R&B side, A side and B side. Classic Drake. Yeah, Pusha T kind of put him out there for hiding the sun, and that's how we found out Drake had a kid. So that was crazy. Wayne came to Drake's defense, but that ultimately led to nothing, and Wayne eventually let it go, and he ended up dropping the Carter 5, which I don't think had Drake on it. It had Nicki Minaj on it, but it didn't have Drake. So we're getting those pieces that we were trying to understand, because it's not happening. It's looking more so like a rarity instead of a consistency. Carter 5 to me was really, really good. I think it should be revisited more and respected a lot more than it is now. But yeah, it didn't have Drake on it, so kind of crazy. 2019, we had Drake. I don't really remember what he did in 2019. I think he was still trying to recover. 2018 was his year. He had God's Plan. He had Kiki, Do You Love Me? All that. But he was still recovering from getting exposed by Pusha T. And Wayne was doing his own thing. 2019 was a little different. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't remember much of 2019 when it comes to Wayne and Drake. I don't think they was just doing it like that. But maybe they was. I don't know. I know 2020 was more of a prosperous year for them, and that's why we're gonna get into it now. So if I'm forgetting some, feel free to leave it in the comments and let me know, because this is a lot of years to keep up with, but hey, it's a thing. 2020, Drake had Dark Lane demo tapes. Again, a playlist. I just think it's weird. I think it's a technicality for his label, because I think he was trying to get out of Cash Money. But yeah, again, I don't think Wayne was on there, man. If he was, it was something very small, something very little. It just wasn't too significant. It wasn't no singles with Wayne on there. I know that for sure. So yeah, Wayne went on that. Wayne went on Scorpion. He sampled him on Kiki's song, whatever. But that was it. Dark Lane demo tapes was okay. It had the Tootsie Slide or whatever. It had Landed. It had D4L. It had some tracks, but ultimately okay. Wow. We also did Laugh Now, Cry Later. That was a big hit. But Wayne, on the other hand, would end up dropping Funeral, which was a response album to Kobe Bryant's unfortunate death. Now, if you wonder why Kobe Bryant was celebrated by Wayne, you have to look at the past. Wayne and Kobe Bryant were close, and that was Wayne's favorite player. And he even did a song called Kobe Bryant back in the day, which was fire. Very great. But that's what he did. So Wayne had that. Okay. Funeral was not really picked up or acclaimed by anybody. I just put somebody on the Funeral recently because they never heard of it. I mean, it was one of those albums that kind of got lost in the shuffle, but it had good songs on there. It had a verse from the late Takeoff by himself and without the rest of the Migos. But again, this album did not feature Drake. So I don't care if you're saying how cool he is and stuff. They're not featuring on each other's work, and that inconsistency is an issue. You know what I'm saying? It's very odd, very weird, very strange.
Record something at Rikers?
On the phone. Yeah, it was an interesting day. I remember I had to make sure everybody was in their cells by a certain time that night because I couldn't have it's not a studio.
Right.
So to have it quiet enough for me to actually get a real verse off, I won their phone time. The guards, they was damn near acting like engineers. They was making sure, hey, 22. Cell 22. All right, we working. They wasn't doing nothing when I was on the phone. They're just making sure everybody quiet while I'm on the phone.
Hate is temporary, love is necessary. I went from eating chicken to eating commissary. Damn, I am a ticket, I need therapy. You can buy the answers, but you can't afford to question me. First off, I don't need you second guessing me. Deal is like third base, I'm coming home is next.
2021, Drake did not have anything. He didn't have anything, did he? 2021? Yes, he did. He had Certified Lover Boy. See how I forgot? It wasn't just that great to remember. Certified Lover Boy was okay. It had some straight singles, but it was again another renaissance period for Wayne and Drake because he would drop because Drake would drop that and Wayne would be on the album, which was a really great feature. You Only Live Twice with Rick Ross, which was a mix of Lord Knows and Fancy, to be honest. It was a nice combination. And Wayne would end up having No Ceilings 3, which featured Drake. So they had a good trade-off this time. It was a reunion. It had Nicki Minaj had her song, Seeing Green, with Drake and Wayne on there. It was a good reunion, so we got to see Young Money come together again, but it just seemed like they were all in different places. So where's the divide? Why are we so divided right now? It's weird. But we're coming back for this to make people believe that we're still cool, but we're really not. We don't really talk like that. You can tell by the difference in music and everything. So it's very, very odd. 2022. Where do I begin? Well, Drake, and look, nobody expected this. I know I didn't. I was hoping to get something a little better, but we did much later. Maybe like a few months later. We got Drake's Honestly Nevermind, which was just a house music album. Worst album I've ever heard from him. I'm be honest, it sounded like he was really trying to get out of his deal. And he did. That was his last album before getting out of that deal he had. So I'm pretty sure that's why he dropped it like that, because trash. I'm sorry. Trash. It was. Trash. Again, Wayne not really doing much, you know what I'm saying? But it's still a difference. Drake ended up dropping, and here's another thing. Look, here's another thing. I just want to throw this out there. Wayne did have a joint album with Rich the Kid. I'd be trying to forget about it because it was one of the darkest points in my life. I felt like he got drugged up and they brought him in the studio, made him do music, and then kicked him out. Because in what universe would Wayne do an album with Rich the Kid? It was horrible. I couldn't get past the second, third song. It was bad. Wayne sounded like he was sick with lean. Like he just disgustingly drenched in lean. That's how Wayne sounded. Like, and then they slapped some auto-tune and just told him to go do some work for some money. It was bad. I try to forget that happened, but it did. And again, another album without Drake is a joint album with somebody else. But look, we have something else going on. And what's that? Drake and 21 Savage with Her Loss, which ended up being straight. But again, no Wayne. So he drops an album with 21 Savage and Future, but not Wayne. What are we doing? 2023. Drake, again, in the limelight, right? He drops For All the Dogs. Like 20 songs. Was Wayne on there? No. And that's probably a good thing because that album was trash. For All the Dogs was trash. I'm sorry. Wayne had The Fix Before the Six, which was like a preliminary album before Carter 6 comes out. Didn't have Drake on it. Wasn't good. It just all was bad. And I'm skipping this because it's not music, but I want to throw this out there too because I just feel like it's important for our conversation. Drake and Wayne, to me, are not as close as you think. And here's an example, right? Wayne turned 40 in 2022. Okay? All these people were congratulating him. Happy 40th. Welcome to the 40th club, Cameron. Everybody kept saying stuff like that. When it came to Drake, well, he said this.
Tunchi Lee, my brother, I just had to tell you happy birthday. I love you so much. I'm trying to show you some shit. I don't know how to turn this shit around like you. I'm like you with this phone. What the fuck? Oh man, this is terrible. I gotta read the instructions on shit. Anyway, whatever. I ain't shit without you.
That was so generic. That was like the typical. That's something he would have said like 10 years ago. Well, you know, shout out to Tune, you know what I mean? He put me on. He the reason why I'm here. Yeah, he's my favorite. You know, he's the reason why I got here. Nobody want to hear that, bro. You supposed to say something like personal. You supposed to say something that's supposed to make us believe that y'all brothers. No brothers I know say something so formal. It was just weird. And what's worse, that has nothing to do with the video. What it does is Nicki Minaj's response. That's so awkward. Everybody else is so personal and so transparent. You two, you and Drake sound like two spoiled kids that bit their hand that film, and now they trying to knit together those loose ends. I don't want to hear it. It sounds weird. Y'all sound too formal for y'all homie to have his 40th. It's weird. Y'all just sound like y'all just going through PR, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't believe y'all cool at all. I feel like y'all work with each other. So now we get to 2024. No project from Wayne. So look, and no project from Drake. So here's the thing. This is current. We're not even halfway through 2024 yet. Technically, we're in the month, but we're not technically halfway through. We're like a week or two removed. But we are kind of halfway through the year. Neither one has dropped a project. But here's the thing. So, as you know, Kendrick dissed Drake, and Kendrick called Drake out to call Wayne if he needs help, and reminded us how he did Wayne dirty all those years ago. So, all those call outs, and Wayne has not said a thing. We gotta talk about it, right? Like, so I know we gotta talk about it.
Euphoria.
Yeah, and Meet the Grams and Not Like Us.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Wayne has been closed-mouthed about this whole situation. Now him and Drake are supposed to be boys, right? Brothers. But if Kendrick is getting on my brother like that, I'm gonna step in. Kendrick looks up to Wayne. So Kendrick's master plan was, if you are so convinced about all these things, then get your boy Wayne to hop in and say something. Did Wayne hop in and say something? No. Now imagine if he did. That would have destroyed Kendrick, because one, Kendrick looks up to Wayne, and two, Wayne is a beast in himself. If you get him in that mode, he will destroy anyone. There's nobody there on his level. I'm sorry. Wayne's the GOAT. So the fact that he didn't come to his defense lets me know that one, he ain't trying to have no smoke, and two, I don't think they just talk like that. As much as you would think, I don't think Wayne and Drake just talk like that. I think they are work associates, and they used to be cool, but Drake didn't play them a little too many times, and Wayne kind of like, I'm good on you. That's why Wayne dropped that joint album with 2 Chainz last year, in the end of the year. Welcome to Collard Grove, the sequel, and it was fire. Again, 2 albums with 2 different people. 2 albums with 2 different people, Wayne and Drake, but never had a joint album together. Is it weird? Yes. Is it strange? Yes. Is it expected? Now, given this timeline, yeah, they fell out. Whether you want to believe it or not, they fell out. They used to be really, really good. Now they really, really not. Not saying that they beefing, not saying they're enemies, but they just ain't close like they used to be. They're more of associates than brothers. So that is the timeline I'm giving y'all for why I believe Drake and Wayne have fallen out. There is no duo, there is no Young Money, none of that. Now, y'all want me to do a video on the downfall of Young Money? I can do that too. That'll be in the vote. But expect for that poll to be there like, I don't know, every Wednesday. Since this is out Wednesday, expect for it to be every Wednesday, because that's where I'm trying to go with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm going with it. We're going to see. So thank you guys for watching, man. This was a nice video. I'm glad I got to it, and I'm glad I got to go over that with y'all, because maybe we can end this debate, whether Drake and Wayne are cool or not. Because I think a lot of people believe that they're not. I don't think they just that cool. But hey, we got to see what the future holds. Will Drake be on Carter 6? I think that'd be the final nail in the coffin. We'll see.